My vision is just to shine a light on artists, give them an opportunity and a space to tell their story, expose people to the music, and who these artists are as people. Just looking to introduce artists to audiences and audiences to artists. This is for them. This is for us. We love a woman who can do it all. Many times, as Black female creatives, there's a certain amount of respect one needs to gain or garner before people begin to take you seriously. Being a woman, particularly a Black woman, especially in the music industry, is not easy. There are a fair number of ups and downs one can go through, from having to wade through muddy waters such as racism and sexism. And it can be proven to be even more challenging if you aren't what folks refer to as the talent. You know, the name, the face, the artist that is front and center. Issa Rae once casually described the music business as probably the worst industry she's ever come across. Chloe Bailey, as one half of the duo Chloe and Halle, and now gearing up as a solo act herself, has been candid about it as well. How artists may not see a large percentage of their profits achieved from their success. So what makes people, particularly women, wild enough to even want to stick around? Today on our show, we have a singer, songwriter, pianist, and vocal producer who is open enough to share her musical journey, what it takes to achieve success in the business, and what keeps her there. Without further ado, Nicole. So, Nicole, I really appreciate you coming by to kick it with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to talk with y'all.
Of course. And I know that you're super busy, so I want to dive right in. Sure. You actually said you have a gig right after this.
I do. I actually have a private gig for actually a tea tasting, and someone hired me to do piano stuff and put together the music for it. So I'm running over there after this. But I had to come by and talk with y'all also.
Appreciate it greatly. I really do. I also peeped on your IG stories. You were in the studio last night?
Yes, till 3, so that's why I was a little late this morning.
That's all right.
But yeah, we were working on some really cool projects upcoming. So worked with some new writers and producers, so it was great.
Nice. That's so exciting. So you do a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Like you songwrite, you sing, you produce, like you do it all.
Yeah.
On average, any given week or day, how much time do you spend in the studio?
So actually, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually have a full-time job in the daytime. Okay. I am a 11th grade English teacher. So when the bell rings, I'm jetting out of school. Look, it pays the bills. I jet out of school, and I'm normally in the studio like 5 until. So I'm really burning it at both ends, trying to sustain and live, but continue to chase my dream. And hopefully soon I'll be able to be full time. I've seen it really pick up, but I'm in the studio at least 3 to 4 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah, for a while. So.
Yeah. Wow. That's really amazing, because I think a lot of times like creatives feel like they have to choose one or the other. Even I myself, I'm going through like this phase where I'm like, full-time work, like right. Full-time creative, like trying to figure all of that out. But It's super encouraging when I hear that, there are folks who are out here working full time and they still are able to like pave a way or make time, for their art.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a balance. It's a challenge. There are days I'm stressed out, I'm super tired, but it's just like, I know I have this goal I want to reach. So I'm blessed to be able to do it for now.
Very cool. So let's jump into what you were like as a kid. Because I feel like a lot of times that's where these things start. Mm-hmm. So when you were a kid, like, was music super prominent, or were you involved in other things like sports or other arts like acting and things like that?
So I was one of those spoiled kids. My mom put me in everything. So I was in everything, but what stuck was music. She saw that I would constantly go back to the piano. I would love to be at my different rehearsals. And so music kind of stuck with me. And then really and truly like Alicia Keys and that whole movement, when I saw her playing and I was like, singing, she's famous. This is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I started like doing shows, and so I always kept like sports and stuff in the background. Like my mom definitely kept us grounded. We were regular kids, played outside, but she definitely poured into my musical gift. She knew it was something I would love to do.
So cool. Yeah, that Alicia Keys era was like super prominent.
Oh man, she had her foot on my neck. I was Alicia Keys. I'm still Alicia Keys fan, so she definitely was a huge inspiration.
For sure. That is so cool. Which is very interesting because you are born and raised in Atlanta, correct? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I have to admit I am a little jealous because a lot of my musical taste was like kind of crafted from my grandmother and my older sister. They were like the two people who like constantly had music playing, who constantly put me onto things. But I feel like when I was finding like my own sound and defining like my own music taste, it was super heavy Atlanta based.
We set the culture.
You do, like, y'all got it,
Yeah.
like hands down. So like I said, I am a little jealous of that. You know, being that I'm a transplant and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, like, how much of being raised, like born and raised in Atlanta, has like impacted you to fully jump into music?
It's funny. I actually had this conversation with someone the other day because I think people from Atlanta take for granted that we're from here until you go somewhere else and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "From Atlanta." "Oh, you're from Atlanta?" Da, da, da. And they're like, "Oh, you know this person, little baby." Da. And it's like, whoa, we really do set the culture anywhere you go. I mean, any club, anywhere. I mean, you could even be in Mexico. They're playing, you know, something that is coming from Atlanta.
Right.
So it definitely, I think it influences like the edge and the swag of the music.
Okay.
And we just think and trap it out so different. But I love kind of how I've been able to mesh the two with like R&B and pop. So yeah, it's a huge influence, the home, you know, being from here.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm thinking like even the Jermaine Dupri's,
Exactly.
the TLC's, like way back.
So yeah, so you have Monica. So we have such a huge R&B influence. But if you think about Monica, she's still so real,
Yeah,
so, you know,
she
so
is.
hood, you know. So I like that we have that kind of, you know, swag about us.
Yeah. That is so dope because it's like the music scene is right in your proverbial backyard.
Literally, it is. You know, a lot of people come here to get the swag, and it's kind of like it's right here, you know. So that's cool.
Sure. So I was listening to another interview actually that you had done.
Okay.
And there is an artist that you are super fond of that actually isn't from Atlanta, which is super fun because I mean, I take my hat off to this person. They are a blueprint for sure.
For sure, especially for R&B.
I'm sure you already know who I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. So I'm a Brandy fanatic. And I'm so glad that people are picking up on this because one day she's going to hear these and she's going to be like, you know what, come on in, write with me.
See?
But no, I'm a huge Brandy fan. For me, it's like just vocally because I do vocal production, I respect what she does as far as her craft with recording, and she writes a lot of her stuff.
Yeah.
But then like, I don't know why people play her. It's like who else has been the Black Cinderella? Like, who else has had their own hit TV show? So I don't know why they shade my girl Brandy, but
I don't know where that comes
I don't know
from.
either. I think it's because she's nice. Like seems like a sweet, nice girl. I don't know. But no, Brandy is definitely one of my huge influences outside of like Alicia and a few other people here from Atlanta. For sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean, on my side of the internet or interwebs or whatever you want to call it, like Brandy be getting her props. So I'm like, I don't know where some of this comes from.
I don't know. I think I really saw it come out in the Versus thing. Like it was like people were definitely Team Monica, which I don't think there's I don't know if it's the Boy Is Mine thing that started the whole like
division.
Like you can't be
room
both.
for both.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I be a Brandy and Monica fan?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
I'm biased. I like Brandy.
I do.
Like, come on, the braids, Moesha, the whole influence, her vocal like ability.
Absolutely. No, I love Brandy.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears for a little bit.
Sure.
Like we noted several times through the episode already, you do a lot. Pianist, and you write, you songwrite, you sing, you produce, you do it all. And I just had a question about like your processes for those different things. So like, what informs your creative process, or what motivates you to get started and keep going?
Wow. So typically, I've been very blessed to work with a lot of great producers.
Okay.
So, and engineers. So I've been able to actually get kind of spoiled and be able to go in the studio and play the music out loud, go through the different beats, or start creating something from scratch. So I have a very collaborative process with my like production team that I'm working with, or the artist. That would be my favorite way to work. Like going in, we all putting it together, and then seeing how the song comes out. I do a lot of solo work too. So there's times where people just send me the track, and I have to kind of, while I'm driving, write, or sometimes I'll just like go to the park and sit and listen and write out. I'm still like a pen and paper write person, write it out and then go and cut it. So it kind of depends on what I'm doing, but it definitely is a moment to sit, think about it, come up with a dope at least idea, whatever that is, either that's piano, whether that's, vocally, and then building on that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite part of the process? Like,
I still really, really, really love songwriting. Like, that's still my favorite thing to do. Like, even last night I was writing, and it was like, I love to do it, come together, come up with a cool idea, different way to play with words. But I still have a super secret love, not even secret, very public love for playing the keys. I do love to play, like even like accompanying people. So I have kind of they're shared right there.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And, I must say, like, just from hearing you say, like, you teach all day and then, you go home at night. Mm-hmm. If you even go home, you may go straight to the studio.
Yes.
But the time that you're putting in, like the work that you're putting in, I think it really shows, like the fruit of your labor really shows, just based off of some of your achievements and accomplishments that you have to date, such as getting music placed on a Showtime show, The Shy. Mm-hmm. Even down to like your ASCAP award, the Lyric Award. So can you talk to us about, first, let the folks know what an ASCAP award is.
Sure. So ASCAP is a PRO. So it's basically a group that helps you collect your performance royalties. But they're more than that here in the city. They're a great liaison for new artists, new writers, producers to kind of connect. So they were really influential in me actually even learning how to songwrite, getting into these different rooms, going to different camps. So they have a particular award where they grant each year a group of songwriters who they see are up and coming and promising songwriters. You do a whole camp where you have to create a song from scratch, production, vocally, everything, and then you have industry judges that are world-renowned composers, producers, songwriters who judge, and then they decide, and you win, and it's very prestigious. So it was really exciting to win right before the pandemic. So it was like really cool, just to like right before everything got crazy, we won, my team and I, and it was great. And so that's a little bit about ASCAP, so people know.
Yes. And then, like I said, you've had music placed on a TV show. Yeah. What was that like for you to...
So it was so crazy. I got a call to go into the studio to work with Rotimi, and so we were just working on his R&B album, and I was actually working with Rotimi, a producer named Poppy Year, who just did We Have a Problem for Nicki, so he's on his way. Wow. He's huge. He's such a humble and great guy. So we were just all working and came up with 2 really great records. Rotimi was really involved with the process, and a few months later, they were like, "Hey, we want to put this on the TV show." So I was like, "Well, okay, this is great." So I watched it 1,000 times. It's a section when Lala comes, so then it has Lala Anthony in it, and it's kind of about her, because the song is called Trouble, and it's kind of like about like a kind of like unrequited love, kind of like a toxic situation, and she walks on screen. So it's like 30 seconds, but you hear your lyrics for 30 seconds, and you're like, whoa. So it was really cool. Yeah. So I've enjoyed sync. I really like sync and want to get more involved with TV and like jingles, commercials, and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine what that must be like to hear yourself on TV, especially if it's a show that you're super like interested in and you like and you watch.
Right. And it was cool because people love Rotimi. I love him as an actor. As an artist, I learned a lot about him working with him. And then, like, The Chi is a cool show. So I was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes people have like this warped perception that people just like fall into these types of achievements and accolades overnight. So can you just talk a little bit about like your journey and what it took for you to even be placed in these situations where these like awards and things like that could be possible, or achievements could be possible?
Yes. Look, I'm still beginning on the journey. It's a long one, but it's a lot of unseen work. I mean, you have to perfect your craft, and you're also in an industry where there's so many writers, there's so many artists, there's so many producers, but we only know a few. And so you have to work on branding yourself. You have to work on networking. So it's the creative part is a huge piece, but it's small. But it's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of no's. It's a lot of unresponded emails. It's a lot of you emailing 3 and 4 times, feeling like a stalker and feeling crazy.
Yeah.
It's you going back and introducing yourself to somebody, and they're like, I don't remember you, and I met you last year. And it's like, look, I got to keep going. And, you know, so it's a lot of rejection in this particular industry, and it can definitely jade you. That's why I think it has to be a passion. I think in anything you do, it's going to be hard. Like if you're a surgeon, it's probably really hard, but you have to really love it to continue to go and do it. So it's definitely, it took a long time. I remember my first song was booty bad. Like it was awful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm running around listening to it and telling everyone, listen to my first song. And people are like, yeah, this is not it. And I missed some opportunities, but I'm thinking it's great. But it took me having that confidence and keep going to now where I'm able to go back and meet those people who are like, you've grown so much and X, Y, and Z. So it is definitely a lot of no's.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that, but it's worth it.
Well, I'm glad to hear. In the intro, I talked about how, like, Issa Rae has stated before that the music industry has been super, super hard for her to break into. And she's not even an artist, right? She's on the business side of things. And, you know, some folks are like, of course she would say that. She comes from Hollywood. Like, it's a completely different world from her. But I still think there's, like, a little bit of semblance of truth to what it is that she's saying. And with that, like, even more as a Black woman. So what has navigating the industry been like for you? And what advice can you give to people, but more specifically like Black women who are trying to step into these spaces, whether they want to be, you know, the talent or the artist up front and center, or the producer or the writer or what have you?
Okay, yes. So I think Issa is a great representation of how you should move in the industry as a Black woman. I started watching Issa Rae with her Awkward Black Girl on YouTube right before she became who we know her as now.
Likewise.
And I think it's a testament to creating your own content and doing it really well and betting on yourself. Issa was the star of her own show. She didn't have some cute, little teeny bopper who could have been easily sold. I mean, as far as easily marketable, I guess is a better word. But she bet on herself, and she was awkwardly funny, and it worked. It was a niche that it was room for it. And so I think a lot of times as Black women, we get the people have told me like, yo, this song would be great on before you even heard if this is what I want to keep. Yeah. And so it's not even that I think they immediately put Black women in a box, because we are the culture. We create it from everything we do, like the way that we look, the way that we, everything. It's the culture. So I think that I think we do sometimes a disservice to ourselves to play small. And I think that we've done it for a while. And so we don't want to ruffle the feathers. We're happy to be in the room. Yeah. And so, but I'm not letting you take my swag. Like, I'm in here, you're not taking all my swag. So I'm going to come out. So I've, grown in that confidence. So I would say if you are, the stage isn't for everyone. But what I mean is, if you have a craft and you believe in it, make it exceptional, because Issa wasn't coming out with no, half-done work. It was great. Right. Make it exceptional. Get with people who are building. Don't just go to the head producer. Get with someone who's right here on your level but has the quality. Work your way up, build together, and then now you have a hit show, Yeah. So I think that's the way to collaborate, but be confident and bet on yourself.
Okay. That's good advice. It's good advice, I think, for anyone who's stepping into any kind of industry, right? Is, you know, make sure you put out quality work, be willing to be a team player, be open to, you know, constructive criticism or feedback, and yeah, continue to go from there. So let's get into your music, okay? Because Baby Fat, when I tell you, like, it slaps. I'm like, that song is so freaking dope. Like, that's actually how I got put onto you. It's like, you came up on my IG feed.
Dope.
Yeah, and I was like, I got to talk to her. And then after I started researching you, I was like, oh, she does way more than just, like, sing. Like, this is super dope. But I got to say, I was a little salty when I saw, like, I'm like, how is this not trending? Like, where? Like, how? Like, I saw the views on YouTube, and I'm like, what is going on here? We have a quality artist, you know, right here. Like, I mean, I digress. You know, when you first listen to it, you know, it kind of sounds like a party track, right? Like you're catching a vibe, but when I listened more closely, it sounded like you were documenting your journey, like you were telling a story, essentially. And I'll let you get into it. But I wanted to ask you, like, are you a person who is, like, willing to be personal in your music or be transparent?
Yes, I mean, that's the only way I think I can be. And so Baby Fat was definitely one of those transparent moments. It was kind of like what we were talking about. I've always written and I've always played, but it was like an opportunity came up with actually another young creative who wanted to document the journey. She's like, let's just do a video. Let's do it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
And I'm so glad y'all did.
She like was so, her name is Jade. She's an awesome videographer and super dope creative here in Atlanta. And she encouraged me to do it. And it came together really, really cool. But yeah, it is definitely personal. It definitely documents like my personal journey of like weight loss and dealing with niggas in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And then just the music industry, working with my, you know, Ace Boon Kun, like we were tighter than tight and we fell out and he just all types of stuff I kind of highlighted in the little minute.
Yeah, I was like, she packed so much into a minute and 13 seconds. like you said, you talked about falling off with your day one, and I was like, wow, like this is really good because not only does it sound good, like it translates, like you could play it in a party or what have you, but like it's also something you can vibe to in your car and just like reflect on your own journey and like where you've come from and things like that. Like it really sounded like I'm here. Like, look, what are we doing?
Wait, I came out with it, so it's like, oh, I got to follow up with something. But it was really dope putting together, and it was cool to see what it takes to be an artist too. I have a new respect because like being behind that camera and acting is different, you know, to your own music. Even though you in your car doing whatever, it's like not the same when you're watching it on back. So
yes,
a little nerve-wracking.
Well, I loved it. Like, I want you to do more. And that was going to be a question. Is that kind of like your, I'm here, I've arrived, like your introduction as an artist, so to speak?
I think it was. I think it was more so for my creative friends. They all know that I work and do it behind the scenes. And I think it was cool for them to be like, whoa, you put something together. And so they kind of are like really... I've been blown away by the support. They want to be involved with the album. They want to, you know, put some other creative ideas together. So definitely new music. I'm going to stick to my R&B roots. I wanted to just say something. I was like, let me spit for them a little quick, you know, let them know. Don't be fooled by the dimples. I got a little flow. But I'm going to do a dope R&B song. I'm fingers crossed, it's supposed to come out end of May. Working on it now with DJ Looney Tunes, a dope producer here.
Yeah, that's who I peeped, like, you in the studio with last
Always
night.
work together. He's super supportive of my craft and is an amazing producer. You know, he's done work with Rihanna and the likes, Future over the years, so he's real Atlanta too.
Yeah.
So, so look for it in May, June.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, can we expect like a project or an EP?
Yes, so I'm definitely going to do probably like a 3 to 5 song EP, just depending on what I come up with. I'm hoping to have it done like I want to go through the summer and really maybe do like 2 singles and then kind of see where it goes from there, and maybe do like a really good one in the fall, and maybe have some final project out by the end of the year. So
Yes, let's go. Because I am looking. Like, I can't tell you how many times I played Baby Fat on repeat.
That is so dope.
I'm looking at the camera right now. Like, y'all need to run it up. I'm serious. Make your way over to J. Nicole's YouTube channel and run up Baby Fat, because it's like, it's immaculate.
Thank you.
So, one last question before we are going to play a game. Not too difficult. Okay. Hopefully I don't run you off with the game. No. But I did have one last question before we jump into that portion of the show. So, you had mentioned you're planning to put out like a 3 to 5, track EP or project pretty soon. Do you think once you do that, you'll continue to be behind the scenes, or do you feel like you'll see how that goes and see if you want to continue to be front and center as the artist or the talent?
I plan on doing a little money long situation. Look, she's putting out her stuff, but she's still, I know she's actively working on major projects now. So I think, again, another woman of color who bet on herself and is now being put in the room she was working hard to be put in when she wasn't considered the talent, So I plan on kind of doing kind of that vibe. But if it takes off, it takes off. I still love being behind the scenes, and I love my regular life. But I'm never gonna stop a flow. Look, I'll never stop a blessing. So,
I know that's right.
All right.
Okay, so game time.
Yes, we have reached a portion of the show where I usually do a game with the guests. Okay. Because you are ATL born and raised, right? Atlanta bred.
I'm from zone 2 though. I'm North Atlanta. We don't know nothing. Okay, go ahead.
And, because I, like I said, was so obsessed with Atlanta music in like my teen years, my early 20s and things like that, I wanted to play a little game to see if you can pinpoint different artists.
Ooh, okay, let's do it.
But it's through the game of Who Am I?
Okay.
So you will have to guess which famous ATLian you are by only asking yes or no questions to me.
Gotcha.
I know who you are, clearly, but you're trying to figure out who you are.
I gotcha.
And the questions basically will get you closer to clues about who you are, and then hopefully, essentially, you'll figure out who it is.
Okay, let's do it.
Am I a woman or a man?
Well, you have to.
Am I a woman?
No.
Okay, am I a woman?
No.
No. Okay. Was I a part of a group?
Nope.
Solo act. Was I 90s? Was I famous in the 90s?
Were probably like on the cusp.
Okay, but 2000s for sure.
For sure. Yes.
2000 single act. Was I rap or was I rap?
Yes.
Okay. 2000s single act Atlanta rap. Am I T.I.?
You are not.
Good. Am I
somewhat close?
Am I Jeezy?
You are not. Oh wait, maybe me saying you were somewhat close pushed you further away from who you are.
Okay, let me ask another question. Am I married?
Yes.
Okay, I have kids?
Yes.
Am I 2 Chainz?
You are not. I think you're on like the more trap side of things, which is why when you said M-I-T-I and I said you're close, you started going like Jeezy. You started going Jeezy, 2 Chainz, but.
Whoa. What else can I ask? Can I get a hint? Can I get a clue?
You were part of a Versus.
I was part of a Versus here.
Very early, like when Versus was really popping online and like everybody was tuned in, like in the middle of the pandemic and lockdown.
Am I Lil Jon?
No. You were sandwiched like right in between Lil Jon and T.I.
2000s. Am I ludicrous?
You are.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a good game. Okay.
All right, so that was the first one.
Okay.
All right, now we're on to the second one.
Okay, am I a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Did I do R&B?
Yes.
Was I a part of a Versus?
No.
Woman from Atlanta, R&B. 90s? Was I famous in the 90s?
Yes. You were huge in the 90s.
And I'm from Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't part of a group.
Well, you didn't ask that yet.
Was I a part of a group?
Yes.
Am I Tiny?
You're not.
Am I Candy Burris?
You're not.
Oh, okay. Look, let me ask more questions. Goodness. You said I was a part of a group.
You are part of a group.
Man, how do I not know this? What else can I ask? Have I released anything recently, the group?
No.
Are they relevant now in any way?
Ish.
Am I
Not
on a
their
reality
music, but
TV
their
show?
impact is huge. The impact of your group is like, I can't even put words to it.
Okay, was I in TLC?
You are TLC.
I am
So
TLC.
like, I think I kind of threw you off because you were like, am I part of a group? But I was
Okay.
trying to get you closer
I got
to like,
you.
am I a group?
I was trying to think like, who am I in TLC? Okay, so we're TLC. That was good. These are really good.
Good. I'm glad you're having fun with it. This one might be a little tricky.
Okay.
But we'll go with it.
Okay. Woman? Am I a woman?
No.
Okay, so I'm a man.
You are.
Was I big in the 90s?
No.
Okay, so 2000s or current?
Current.
Rap?
Yes-ish.
Yes-ish. Am I Lil Nas X?
You are not.
Okay, I just got him out. Just throw him out there because he is from here.
Good process of elimination. Though.
I'm rap-ish.
You do a few things. Look at me giving hints.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be up here giving
Do I
hints.
act?
You do.
I act. Oh. Am I Donald Glover?
You are. You are. That's why I was like, raps, but also sings, but also acts.
Yeah.
But also.
Super hard. Like, probably one of the best to come out of Atlanta in a while. I love
Yeah.
him. That's a good one.
All right. So this one's going to be fun.
Okay.
All right.
Woman?
Yep.
90s?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so current?
Very current.
Very current. Am I Summer Walker?
You're not.
Okay. And I sing R&B?
Yep.
Am I young?
You are.
Do I act?
You do not. You sing, like, you probably know that, like, this person is right here. Like,
Here. Famous. Relatively famous. Atlanta.
Coming up,
Am I Atlanta
coming up.
famous or?
you're Atlanta famous.
Okay, I'm Atlanta.
Yeah, you're
famous.
coming up.
Me?
Yes.
I'm so good.
Like, I have
That
no
was
idea.
a good one. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this girl? Okay.
Yes.
That was
all
a good
right.
one.
All right. Last one.
Sure.
And then we'll wrap because I know you got places to be.
Female?
No.
Okay, I'm male. 90s?
Mm-mm.
Current. Okay, so we're 2000-ish.
For sure.
Rap?
Yep.
Part of a group?
Nope.
Is Soulja Boy from Atlanta?
Yes, he is.
Look, get Soulja out of here. Am I Soulja Boy? Okay. Okay. He says, I'm the first rapper to ever do it. So yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Right. Well, thank you for playing the game.
This was really fun.
I really
I'm like going to
appreciate
recreate
it.
that. That's funny. I'm going to do this with something.
I had a few more, but you know, we'll cut it off there. I think I've put you through enough torture, especially with the one with yourself. Like, I was like, you're right. Like, you know this person. They're right here.
No, you did good because I eventually got there. So this is really great. I really loved like getting to know you guys and you guys asking me questions about myself. It's definitely cool.
For sure. I definitely appreciate it. I cannot wait to see how your artistry takes off, like both in front and behind the scenes. You're just really dope. Like I said, folks, go over to go over to YouTube and run it up. Like, you got to run up Baby Fat. We got to get those streams up, those views up, because like it's really good. It's really good. You'll see what I mean when you go and watch or listen. But yeah, just let the people know like where they can find you, if you're on social media platforms, or how they can reach you.
jnicole.music is where you can find me on all social media platforms, iTunes, SoundCloud. New music coming out May, June. Look for new videos. And I will definitely be back to share more content as I continue to grow, for sure. So check me out.
All right, check her out, y'all.
Thank you.
And that concludes another episode. As usual, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and thanks for joining us. We out.
Just take a look at yourself. Do you really think it's gonna help if you always fighting yourself, trying to forget how you felt? Just take a look at yourself. Can't even be your own friend, 'cause you're way too stuck in your head. How do you think it's gonna end? Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some